In Mexico, it's more flexible, obviously, than in Japan. I was absolutely sure that it's impossible for me to work if I don't speak Japanese. Half of the people was Japanese and half foreigner. It's something that also I learned in Japan, and they don't tell you what exactly you need to do because they don't want to bother you so much. They don't want to tell you this is wrong. No? They want to say, it's good, but...
Welcome to Unpacking Japan. I'm Toby, and today welcoming David on the show. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
David, you're a computer-generated animator, and
Yes.
you've worked on many big franchises like Mario. You've worked on games like Dark Souls. You've worked on TV shows as well. You've been doing this for 20 years, and now you're doing this here in Japan.
Yes.
So we want to learn more about the industry of character animation in Japan and your experiences, but also your life here, because you said you have quite a few interesting perspectives to share. So thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
And before we get started, what brought you to Japan in the first place? How did you get here?
Well, I been here for 11 years, and I was working in Mexico doing animation. But the project that I was working, it was a really nice movie. I really loved that movie because it was good story, good characters. Director, it was very talented director, and the environment, it was really nice. But unfortunately, because the industry in Mexico in that time, 11 years ago, it was really new, and it's still not big as another countries like Japan or like United States. But we didn't have the complete budget to complete that movie, so it was cut around the middle.
Oh no! So you worked on the movie and started production and kind of animating the characters and everything, and then halfway through you had to stop.
Yeah. We knew that we needed to find the
funding.
The funding. Yes, that's why we make a pilot and we share it. And honestly, it's a very good movie. I still love the story, the characters. I recommend to see because it's finished, because they finish after. So, but okay. Anyway, it was cut in the middle, so we need to find a job. No, in that time I was in Mexico. I was happily working in Mexico, but I started to look for a job. So I thought it was good to try Canada, to try another countries. And in that time I was with a Japanese girl. So I said, well, we can try go to Japan. And I applied to send my demo, my curriculum to here. And yes, I could find an opportunity. And that's why I came here for 11 years ago.
11 years ago. Yeah. Where did you arrive? Was it Tokyo?
It was Tokyo, yes. It was Tokyo. And yeah, at first it's a little scary because it's the other side of the world. I was here in Japan before as a tourist, as a visit in Japan, and I love it. It was really, as a tourist, I think Japan is very nice at first. It's very good, but started to work, and living here is changed a lot. So yeah, it was a little scary, but I came here, and I was lucky to be in a studio. It was full of foreigner people. So I didn't arrive to a studio that it was Japanese studio. It was with a lot of foreign. So the environment, it was nice. It was good. It was tough. It was hard. It was working, more than Mexico in generally speaking, in more hours, but it was good. I really loved the environment in the studio. It was nice, and I met people from all around the world. So yeah.
So when you came to Japan, you already had a job basically lined up.
Yes.
So you arrived and you started working, and you went for this animation studio that has an international environment. How did that compare to your experiences in Canada and Mexico? You said it's more hours, more like tough, and how different is it?
Yeah, well, the CG, in general, the CG pipeline, because it's a creative environment. At first you have like a plan, no? You have the perfect plan to do something, no? To this point, and it's generally you expect that you don't go, you don't return, you don't move so much.
Yeah, you make a plan, you stick to it.
Yes, exactly. In Mexico, generally, we don't have that clear like steps, no, clear goals, like a small deadlines, no. We just go ahead and we can say yes, maybe around this time is okay, around that time is okay, you know. that is big different in Japan. In Japan, the culture in Japan is very is systematic, is very strict. They care about details. Everything this you can see in the pipeline or animation, obviously. So when I arrive here, even that it's a foreigner company, our clients is Japanese. So they have a specific times when they want to see something, when they want to see the modeling, when they want to see the rigging, when they want to see the animation. So that is something that when I arrived here, it was okay. So in that time they want this, no, and there is not so flexible. This is the time that I should finish, and maybe we have a backup time for retakes or whatever. But yeah, this is something that.
So for someone who's maybe not so familiar with the industry, so CG, character, computer-generated kind of character animation, what exactly does the studio do? Like, who are your clients? What do they expect? And what is the kind of job you have to do in your day-to-day?
Well, CG has many stages, no? Depends of the studio, you can cover many of these stages or just one or just two, no? Big studios, they have from the conceptual art, like maybe drawing, storyboard, after pre-visualization, layout, modeling, rigging, animation, rendering, effects, and composition. So maybe this is the whole work that we need to do for a production, for a typical production, because maybe in games you don't do the rendering and you don't do the composition. But anyway. So this depends on the studio. We cover just one part of that, or maybe a few of them, or the pipeline. So in the first studio that I was we did the modeling, rigging, rendering, illumination. So it was covering a lot of those.
So kind of like the middle part, right? So you would have people coming to you with the artwork and the kind of storyboard, and then you make this come to life, and then someone will like finalize it in a way.
Yes, something like that. This is mainly what is most of the studios doing. No? We have this. I don't know, the client is a director or a production company that they have this, in this case could be commercial, could be movie, could be game, and we have the drawing and we have the storyboard, and after we make this part. No? My part is more animation. My part is moving the characters. When after the rigging, I move the characters and make it looks like they are alive.
So if I'm trying to take an example, you take a character, like a famous character like Mario, and you get someone who models this 3D and everything, and you have the character under all the angles. They pass it on to you, and you make sure that he runs properly, he jumps properly, he moves his head properly, and all of these details.
Yes, exactly. And also the studios, big studios, sometimes use the outsourcing studios that they help to do one of the part of the job, because sometimes it's really a lot of work. So, for example, for Mario, I was working in a studio that it was not Sega. I was working for the Olympics game.
So Mario and Sonic Olympic Games
for the Tokyo Olympics game. So I was not working in Sega, but the Sega hired the company that I was to make this outsourcing work. That actually we get the character, and with some of the motion that is the previous games, because the Olympic game has a previous version. So we have these animations that we polish, and we create new ones. So we were doing this work of polishing and working.
So updating with basically the newest technology, maybe adding some AI, adding some.
Yes, just some. Also, there is new sports, so we make new animation for the new sport of this version of the Tokyo game.
So I imagine also in terms of like deadlines, depending on the project, it can be a small deadline for a commercial, maybe, or like for if it's a video game, it might take like a couple of years before it's complete.
Yeah, it depends on the project, and also the deadline, the budget, and this has very impact about what you will do or what is possible to do in a project. Because in Mexico, I'm working mainly commercial. So commercial is the schedule is very tight, and very short, and the budget too. So you actually make this in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And in a movie, usually before the movies has the biggest project, the biggest budget. So in that you can put more detail. Also the quality that they expect is higher. So depends on the project and depends on the budget is the line of the quality that they expecting.
Do you feel like, you said Japan is a bit maybe different or more tough? Do you think that the project workflow is still the same as overseas, or is it also somewhat different in terms of, in Japan first we do this part, then we do this part, then we do this part, and in Mexico maybe you had a different experience where it was like, well, let's do both and then put them together later?
Yeah. I think generally could be they try to make it similar because the steps are the same. But definitely because the way, the culture, the people, how it's different. In Mexico is more flexible, obviously, than in Japan. Japan is more systematic. Like they cannot move forward if they don't have something ready, no? And another part, even in Canada also, is more flexible, no? Like it is space for improvisation, for do something that maybe it's not completely ready, but you try and these things. But Japanese is more like a...
Do you have like maybe a specific example of an experience you had where you were working on something and you couldn't move forward because one part was missing or some decision was missing, and that kind of...
Yes, for example, when I get the layout is like the rough image with cameras about the animation that I will put in detail. So this is happening when I just arrive here, because maybe now I already have the mind of how the Japanese is working. So I'm okay. I don't question or I say I think it's okay, it's working, and it's fine. I do it and it's working well. But at first when I arrived here, the layout stage in Mexico, it was more like also animation stage. So I started they gave me the layout and I was animating and with the cameras and with the angles, and after they say, no, I want to change the camera, and I say, yeah, okay, change it, and I keep working, no? We keep working with animation, and after I put the camera, but they say, no, stop to work in the animation when you move the cameras, and after you keep going, no? But for me it was like but this is just, if the camera angle changes, I will adapt my animation, depends on the angle. But they say, no, don't stop to work. So I said, I was questioning that part. But now I understand that it's working. Maybe the other way also can be working, but it's different, just approach how you can do something that at the end could save me a little work in now, because I don't actually waste my time. I stop to working. But also in the other way, I was feeling like I can be flexible doing this, even that I need to redo it a little bit later. So something like that. But in general speaking, I think Japan is a little more like is strict what they want and what they expect. There is not something that I think in Mexico is a lot more flexible about how.
So in Mexico, they will have an idea and give you some freedom on how to make it happen. And in Japan, they will be like, we want exactly this character this way. And you have to find a way to make that happen.
Yes, especially when it's characters like we all know, like Mario or like Final Fantasy, or I was working also in the Pokemon game. Yes, it's something that because we all know how this, especially Pokemon, because I was animating Pokemon for a game and moving in the way that they move in many games before that I didn't know, because I didn't like so much Pokemon. I was not playing Pokemon, but when I started to animate, I said, yeah, it looks nice, and I think what looks good, but it was not how this character moves, because that's how they behave, how they tell, how everything, no? Even that animation can be good, but it not belongs to that character. So for me, it was a little hard to say, okay, so it's like that. And maybe you don't know so much Pokemon, you see that it's very similar. But for the people who knows Pokemon, that is not that character. That movement doesn't belong to that character. So that is it was hard. It was hard to in that project because maybe I was Pokemon fan. Maybe it's so much easier, but because I was not, it was.
So you worked on big names, right? Pokemon is something. Pokemon is something everyone knows.
Yes.
Mario is something everyone knows. Dark Souls, which also comes from a Japanese franchise. Many people know that, at least that play video games. Do you notice a difference in how the clients have the expectations? Because they're all Japanese clients. Or do you feel like the processes are still the same with all the clients in Japan?
No, there is more. There is client that they are more picky and they are more strict about details. Pokemon, it was one of them. Mario, it was because this was easier because I like Mario and I love Mario, so I was playing Mario since my childhood. So yeah, I know how to animate Mario because I know what is right. That is a very important part of in my case. When I do animation, it's very important that I know what they want. If I know what they want, it's easier because I can reach to that point and I know that they will like it. But when I'm not sure what they want, everything changes a very subjective thing because I'm guessing what they want sometimes. Like again, the Pokemon, it was like, but it's already good animation, and it was good. But they say no, but this tail is moving too much high, and okay, so down? How much down? No, a little bit.
2 pixels, 3 pixels.
Yeah, so that is a challenge. It's very hard part. When I know what they want, and I can say, I know what you want. It's easier. So in Mario, it was easier to know. In Dark Souls, we also make a small part because even that I'm working from this big franchise, but I'm doing not the big part, no, not
so
the main part.
When you work with a video game like Dark Souls, for example, they will hire your studio to do the animation for one boss.
For some like a set of animation. In this case of this game, the Dark Souls, it was for a set of animation that the main character is doing, like dying or hitting or running, these kind of things.
Oh, so that means your studio will animate the main character's set of animation, but maybe another studio will do another set of animation and they will combine both.
We'll combine, yes. In games, it's like this is the way that the games work. Also, Pokemon is we animate one set of animation, 10 animation for one character, and we do that, another studio do that. So everything needs to look like the same and the studio animated.
Yeah,
so
I'm very curious now because if you think about creative work and especially like consistency, the way one studio works and the way one animator works is going to be different from another one. Why do they decide to outsource it so much to so many different entities instead of giving the job to one studio?
It's because the capacity of the studio. Because even that the Sega is a big studio, they are not doing just one game. They are doing many. So the people are available is not enough for working in one project. So they hire another studio, but also the studio can be available in that time, in that specific date and schedule and this. But this studio maybe has 10 people, which is not enough to animate all the work they have. So they need to hire another and another. So that is the reason that they are hiring many studios. So
do you then have to work directly with other studios as well?
No. With other studios, no. We need to work with a supervisor, with a director. So their job is to make all the animation same quality, same styles, matching with the characters, with everything. So in knowing the characters that we know, in projects that everybody knows, this is the tough part because everything needs to see like same people animate the same thing. No? Because another character that are new, because I also work for new project that characters,
the new games, new TV shows.
Exactly. So it's easier because we develop ourselves. Like we are the first who develop the personality, the movement. So this is a little easier. But yeah, for big franchise, yes. So going back to Dark Souls, so we animate just like a set of animation. So in this case, because it's more action thing, we just need to see how is the character moving, what they want, how strong, how it is, understand? And yes, it's more simple, more direct way to do that.
You mentioned that you started working at this very international studio. So you were somewhat familiar working with a lot of other foreigners in an environment that is more strict with more deadlines because of also the client expectations and the workflows in Japan, but otherwise kind of fine. But now you work in a different studio as well, right? So how was your experience now if you compare different studios in Japan?
Yeah, after that studio, my first year, I was in another, like it was when I animate Mario. It's half of the people was Japanese and half foreigner. So that it was even still mixed studio, but more Japanese environment. So yeah, definitely the environment changed a lot. Because my first 5 years that I was in Japan, I didn't feel how it's to work in Japan, even with the deadline client, the Japanese client. But the environment helps a lot because I was feeling really like norm, like I was doing in Mexico. People talking, exchanging ideas, like laughing, all the things that we do in this kind of, especially in animation studio. But changing my next company, that it was very different. Sometimes I didn't talk with the people. I was arriving and nobody even say good morning and work and leaving and this kind of thing. So yeah, it was hard. It was shocking me a little bit in that time because for my first years it was like of course working in Japan is not. It's hard, it's tough. We work very hard for the line client, but yes, it's good. After I started to feel more like how it's work in Japan, because the boss is Japanese and my coworker half is Japanese, and also when I work with Japanese in the projects, the conversation is different. No? Sometimes they don't tell you what exactly you need to do because they don't want to bother you so much. Or if something is wrong, they don't want to tell you this is wrong. No? They want to say, it's good, but this way that sometimes they do. So it's hard. It's hard because I want to say, just tell me what is wrong. Or tell me what we need to do, and we don't need to spend 30 minutes talking when you can tell me just and I do it. No problem. So that I needed to adapt in that time.
So how does it affect the outcome, the work, right? Because in the end, you still need to create a character, animate a character, deliver it for the client in a way that is satisfactory, and it's a creative job, right? So there needs to be creative input. You cannot just calculate and measure only. So when you are in this more rigid work environment with maybe more difficult communication, do you feel like there's an impact on the workflow, on the outcome of the animation?
Fortunately, no. In the outcome for the client, it should be the same, obviously, because otherwise it will not work for me or for the people who is hiring me. Like, why we need to have this communication problem? Like, this is foreigner. And if I cause this kind of things, it is no sense that I'm working in this studio, no. So the outcome should be actually fortunately is always same, good, and they are happy and they get what they expected. Internally is what is you need to deal with that more. But this is something that also is part of I need to adapt about that. It's not. This was the changing between this studio with working with a lot of foreigner and after with more Japanese environment, it was I need to adapt. But after that, I adapt, and now I understand how it's working here in Japan, and it's fine as long as they get what they want, the quality and the time and the fit in the schedule. They're okay. So that is also what is my key point now to stay in Japan is. Even I don't speak, even my Japanese now is not like in the level to have a meeting in Japanese and having this client feedback in Japanese. I still don't fully understand what they are telling me in Japanese. The technology is helping me a lot because they gave me the direction and the retake in the text, so I can translate, and also the body language that they tell me and all these kind of things. But at the end, they get what they want. And even I think even more than that, because otherwise they will not hire me. They will not keep me in the company if I have this limitation about communication. But at the end I can give what they need, so it's good. So
I wanted to ask about that in terms of, if all the clients are Japanese, I assume all the requests and the feedback from the clients are in Japanese. And now within your team, you also work with a lot of Japanese, but maybe a lot of the technology used in animation comes from foreign softwares, and you maybe outsource also with foreign freelancers or work with other studios outside of Japan. How does it work? Like when you want to work in character animation in Japan, do you need to speak Japanese or?
Well, it is the idealist. The best part of the goal. If I need to give an advice, yes, of course, it's easier to speak Japanese, no? Because everything is more difficult when you speak completely, you understand the language. But in my case, my Japanese is really basic. For daily life, is okay, no? But for a meeting with a client, I always said to the company, I don't speak, sorry, but I need translation or I need text that
like a transcript that you can translate after.
Exactly. Otherwise, I cannot follow the conversation. But because all these years, I'm lucky to be to the client that I'm working, or the studio that I'm working, see the work that I do, they trust, and at the end is I'm giving what they want. The work that I can do is okay, that they are satisfied, and they say, okay, maybe the communication is not that simple, that easy, but it's fine. So I obviously I can say that it's necessary to speak Japanese, but also it's about how good you do the job.
Because the job itself, you work with software, you don't necessarily need to speak. Once you understand the tasks and the direction, you need to be able to animate your character.
To animate the character. And I specialize in action animation, in like a fighting, more physically animation. So I already know what they want, in generally speaking. I just need the direction. I just need what is this scene about, and I can imagine, and I most of the time I think what they want, and I just put it in there and make it cool, like make it cool, make it nice. And yes, they like, and they can give me feedback, but it's not that feedback that I cannot understand.
You have got quite a lot of experience in the field, right? Do you have any favorite project that you worked on where you were like, this was really awesome that I got to work on that?
Yes, the Final Fantasy that we work, it was nice. It was, even now I can see the part that we did. It's nice because it was Final Fantasy. It was the movie, is the Kingslave, Final Fantasy 15. It was a movie, and you see the movie is really high quality movie. The render, the animation is super cool. So Square Enix hired the studio that I was to do some part, many parts. But the part that I like, that I feel happy and I feel satisfied that we work on it, is the part that there is this big aquarium behind to the character that are talking. There is big aquarium with a lot of fish swimming, but many kind and eels and this kind. So they tell we need to animate this in 25 years, no 20 years, 20 days, 20 days. So I remember it was me and another animator, the PM, the project manager, and one technical support. He can help us to do all this technical, because maybe you understand that when there is many characters, it's really hard, because all these fishes, all this swimming is a model that you need to move, and when there is many, it's everything complicated. But then also we need to deliver these files to the Square Enix. So it was challenging to try to animate this realistic and on time, and match with all the movie, because it's a small part, yes. It's a small part of the movie. You see, all the movie is amazing, fighting and monsters and this kind of. But then when I see that, it's matched with the movie, It's not something like, this is maybe looks a little different. No, it's perfectly matched with the rest of the movie. So I feel happy we could do this with a few people in 20 25 days, and Square Enix was happy with that. Even we didn't get so much like a retake. Retake is something when you show, and they say, no, change this, and you need to redo some part or redo the many part. So I remember that case is we delivered the first shot, the first try, and they say, yeah, it's good. There's maybe a little bit adjustment, and it was good. So
for everyone who's watching the movie Final Fantasy 15, when they see the aquarium, they can think of you and be like, oh, this is David's work.
Yes, I do that when I see that movie, and I see, that's nice. It was a good job for the team, no? Because it was me and another animator and 2 more guys.
It must be interesting for you now when you watch any kind of movie or play games, because you understand the work that goes into animating a character. When you just watch it as a normal person, you're like, oh wow, this is cool, or like that action scene was awesome, but you don't see, like, you probably visualize it in your software, like, oh, the animator probably had to move the arm like this and like change this, and that must have taken like 5 hours just to get the punch right.
Exactly. Yes, no, when as audience, normal audience, you don't think about that. You just see, that's very cool, no? And that is exactly what I try to do when I do animation, especially in fighting thing. When I see these superhero movies, we see Iron Man or whatever, and you say, it was so good how he punched, he land, how he rotate, all these kind of things. I say, that's so cool. When I animate action stuff, yes, I do that. I will do like what I want to see if I'm at the audience. So I say, I will try to put, this is so cool, and this is so nice. And this is the way that I think I'm trying to do, and I like it, because when I deliver a shot for animation, I see it and I say, yeah, that is nice, that is good. The first person that need to like that is me and satisfied, because I see, I know something is wrong. I'm sure they will also think the same thing. Like, that is not nice. And usually it's happened like that. So like I animate and say, no, that is not working. But anyway, it's the deadline, so I will show. And that come back to me with that comment, like, yeah, it was not good. So, yes. So I try to put exactly that cool thing that I want to see in the movie or whatever project.
Looking back on your 11 years of working in different studios in Japan, do you feel like before coming you had any preconceptions, or like, oh, it's going to be like this in Japan, and then when you came it was actually the opposite?
I was thinking it will be very hard, very tough, because before, when I came to Japan, I was thinking, it's so cool, Japan, no? I want to live here, I want to work, but how I will work in a Japanese company? There's very hard, tough worker, no? Like I will work overtime and
kind of too different from your own culture,
yes,
from your own way of working.
Yeah, and the language, I was absolutely sure that it's impossible for me to work if I don't speak Japanese. No, I said, if I don't speak Japanese, it's not possible I work in Japan. So yeah, I was thinking like that, and I didn't need to speak Japanese to start working in Japan. And until now, I told you, I don't speak enough Japanese to have a meeting, a conversation, and this. So I'm still not speaking so much Japanese, but I'm still working here. So that is very different than I thought. And I thought it was going to be hard and tough, like in the level of can affect my heart or my mind, no? And no, it was not like that, no? So also because I try to manage myself to don't do overtime and keep the balance and this. So yeah, and it's also the advantage that we have. I feel myself how I feel in Japan is Japanese, they expect something from the other Japanese, but for the foreigners, sometimes they give a little of like, okay, I understand. You are like that, so it's okay. You can go, it's okay. But it's not mean like they are giving you extra consideration. It's just I do my work, and not necessarily I stay here 3 hours more because I know the deadline. I can do it tomorrow, and the important part is the deadline. The last deadline and the quality, that is important. If I don't need to do extra time in this middle part, no, I can manage myself. So that is the freedom that sometimes I feel like I can have. So it's okay. So that is not like I thought. Too hard and I need to speak Japanese. No, it was not. Yeah.
Do you occasionally work also with clients from overseas?
Now, no, actually.
Not really?
No, since 11 years I've been working only with Japanese clients.
It's kind of like a very domestic market, right? Everything.
Yeah. One of the things that also I felt about coming in Japan was the industry is big. It's so much bigger in Mexico. In Canada is bigger. It's bigger than Mexico, but Japan, yeah, definitely. I felt like in Mexico I was doing the commercial and some like movies sometimes. But mainly my 80% of the work I did in Mexico was commercial and other movies and such. But in Japan, I started to do everything, like a TV series, games, movies, and commercial. Maybe it's the only thing that I didn't do in Japan, but because
interesting.
Yeah. I feel like Japan is a huge industry with all these options, and not only the projects in Japan are Japanese. Sometimes it's a project from the United States that they do in Japan. So it's
interesting.
Yeah, like the Pac-Man series, the TV series Pac-Man is released in Japan but also in the United States.
So your work will maybe be like translated or just like have another version, but the animation is the same.
Animation is the same. That is done by the studio here in Japan, but it's released in many parts of the world. So yes, not all the projects is just in Japan, but sometimes it's also in another countries. And another thing that is very specific about Japan animation is the manga style, because if we see the Disney movies, has all this movement, fluid animation, no? They talk and they react and in manga, it's not like that. Manga you can hold a pose and talk with only the mouth. And this kind, but you don't feel it weird, no? You don't feel like something is missing. You feel it nice. This is the manga style that they have. They develop. Even for people, they say, like, really? Yes, it's like that. Sometimes people don't even realize that, because that is surprised me, because with few poses, you can put your feeling. You can transmit what they want. So this is it was something that also, I realized that from Mexico. In Mexico also we see the manga animation, but it was nice, no? Like you hold the pose here and you talk, you don't move, and you can feel what that character is telling you and feeling, no? But in Disney animation, Pixar animation, they don't hold the pose like this and moving only the mouth. They really move all the expression and this.
More like humanoid.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
And like a normal movement based on a human model.
And looks nice. It's amazing, no? The Pixar animation, Disney animation is amazing. You see it's perfect, no? But manga style is not like that. Manga is really holding the pose. But that is in acting. When this manga is acting and talking. But when they fight, maybe it's also a little limited. But it's the manga style. When they fight, they found the way to do it that is really impressed. You see the fighting in mangas, in Naruto, in Dragon Ball, in all these mangas that they are fighting. The fighting is really nice. They hit, and the camera and the effects and the sound. So that is something that also I learned in Japan, how to make this fight action stuff very impressed and very cool. Because always when I say, tell me, what do you want to see? Just make it cool. And I say, okay, I know what they want.
It's interesting, right? Because the anime, right, that we're talking about, they're based on these printout manga, and they try to really just animate the image from the book onto screen, whereas Disney was doing this long time ago, but now they moved into have their own kind of version. And you worked on Dragon Ball as well, is that correct? Yeah. So that must have been like an experience in terms of...
Well, Dragon Ball, honestly speaking, the movie is really, really bad movie. I don't know if you see it, but no, it's not. It's a not good adaptation of Dragon Ball. It's really bad. Dragon Ball Evolution, but it's not good. But anyway, that was good experience as a project, yes, because I was opportunity to go to the set with the actors and because they filming in Mexico, so.
Oh, perfect for you, right?
It was perfect. That's why we got this project in the studio that I was in Mexico, because they went to Mexico and they shooting in Mexico. So that project was nice, that to be in the set and to animate in real time, because I was doing pre-visualization with that project. So what the director needs with the supervisor I was working with is we have this scene, no? So we want to see it first. How we'll work with this camera movement, no? So do it quickly. So I was doing in real time with the people, the actor, animate super fast. This animation need to be really fast. The most important is the characters, the actors, the camera. So I put it and show it to the director, and I say, it's working. So let's put the camera here, or the movie here. It was that kind of job. It was not something that I animate that you can see in the screen. Something just the previous that I was doing. So that was a nice experience for that, but the result, the movie is not good. So I don't recommend that movie.
All right, so let's stick to Final Fantasy.
No, I mean, you can say it, but yeah, it's not good adaptation, but it was nice experience.
I want to talk a bit about your life outside of work and outside of animation, because you said, you've been here 11 years and you've experienced quite a lot of things. Looking back on those 11 years, do you feel like your life in Japan changed a lot?
Yeah. It's sometimes I feel like at that time in the first 2 years, another life. Like I feel like it's different life. It's not like, because I count the years, it's just 6 years ago. But I feel like it was another life, completely different life that I have in now, no? Because in that time, mostly I feel like it was like a tourist time, because I was in Japan like 3 times or 4 times before as a tourist, and it's super nice. You don't have anything bad you find in Japan. It's perfect, no? You love Japan. You say it's the perfect country. It's safe. It's clean. The people is very nice. Perfect. I love Japan. I want to live there as soon as possible. This is what I was feeling that. So my first years, it was something like that still, because I was working. It's a little different, but working in the studio, you knew everything, so it was nice. But after 5-6 years, yes, the feeling that you have about Japan is different. And I think it's normal, because it's like when you fall in love with someone, you see this perfect person, like it's nice, I want to be with him or with her with all the time, and it's perfect. But after you start to know that person in the deep way, the good and the bad, and this is when you feel, maybe when the real love starts. If you love that person still with the bad part that all we have, it's nice. So that is happening in the middle, after 6 years, I feel about Japan. Yes, Japan is nice. All the things that we say about Japan is true. Yeah, it's safe, super safe, no? Clean, the people is nice, kind in the outside. But after you see the dark part of Japan, the part that all countries has, it's a very lonely place. The people is nice in the superficial, but it's so hard to connect with others, make real friends. So this eventually, yes, of course, has some affect you in the life, especially when myself come for a country that people is super friendly, no?
Well, Mexico, right? There's a reputation for being outgoing and partying and just sharing with neighbors.
Exactly. You go to buy something and you talk with 3 people in the way. And how are you? Your neighbor, you know who's living beside you. You know you have a lot of connection, human connection. And here not at all, but not like Canada. Canada, I think, is the middle point between Mexico and Japan. Canada, yes, is more, you talk, it's more, they have privacy, but in Japan, it's not at all. I don't know who is living beside me now. I don't know who is my neighbor in the door, no? I don't know. Sometimes people pass front of me and they don't say even hello when I try, no? But they don't. So, and make friends is really hard in Japan. Real friend. no people in the bar, no people in some activities. Sometimes in the job, yeah, they are nice and you talk and it's okay. But no more than that. Make deep connection with people is not that simple in Japan. It's really hard.
What do you think is the biggest challenge as a foreigner to make those deeper connections? Is it the language?
No, I don't think so. It's the language. It's something that, because I have friends that they speak good Japanese, very good Japanese, and they still have the same problem. No, I think it's something culturally that Japan has, that, they are just not get used to have this human relation. They reserve their privacy. They don't try to connect. They don't care to connect with others, even inside the family. No, family is sometimes the relation between father, the son, the daughter is not the same as in other countries. No, so no, I think it's something culturally.
So for you, coming from a culture and a background that is very open, very like outgoing, how do you manage here in Japan? How would you recommend others that are maybe having similar struggle to kind of deal with the situation?
Yeah, it's something a really good question because I'm still doing that. I mean, I don't think there is an exactly solution. What you need, obviously, normal thing is to try to meet people, try to do activities, try to see what is you like, and try to go out and to do that thing that you like. But even you do that, for naturally speaking, the Japanese are not willing so much to connect with you. And this is something that I already understand, and I don't feel like good or bad. It's just they are like that. So I just trying every time to do everything that I can, activities or hobbies or meet people. Also helps to meet foreigners. Yes, it's nice, and also Japanese that they like the foreign thing, whatever they are interested about language, Spanish or English. They are open to communicate and to be your friend. Maybe the only Japanese friend that I have is people who they are interested about foreigner stuff. So they are open to be. Right?
One thing that I noticed, which is quite interesting, at least in Osaka, we have a few Mexican restaurants, and all the owners of those restaurants have the same story. They all went to Mexico on a student exchange, loved it, came back to Japan and wanted to open their own kind of Mexico-style little bar or restaurant, and they really try to make it as authentic as possible, the recipes as authentic. So there's this kind of community of Japanese that is really into Mexico and really kind of has a connection with this.
Yeah, I think also sometimes for my mind pass to do this kind of thing. I would like to make a salsa bar, no?
No.
Yeah, like I make this bar with dancing, and I'm sure the Japanese will be interested about it. So yeah, I think it's something cultural. It's cultural, like they are just different, and they are more inside of the life, privacy life. So yeah, but yeah, when I find people that are Japanese that are interested about dancing in Spanish, they are open, and we can at least.
You find a point of connection, something in common to kind of.
Yeah. But for long-term friendship is still hard. Yeah.
You said that this change for you, this kind of honeymoon phase, ended after the first 5-6 years in Japan. Now another 5-6 years have passed. Do you feel like you're entering a new phase of life in Japan as a foreigner you've been here now a long time? And
Yes, I enter the more just real life in Japan. No? Like I feel more adapted about how is the life in Japan, and I don't try to change it so much, because first I want, why you don't do this, why you don't be more open.
You feel like you want to change them, like, oh, you could just come with me, let's go have fun.
So why we cannot hug, no? Because it's very nice to hug as a friend. I mean, as a friend, or say hello. Now I absolutely understand, and I have no problem, and it's okay. More my life now is in Japan is more as my family, my son. That one of the part that I like about Japan is very safe. So that is really the big thing about Japan. Like I will say, this big value is the safety. This is every day I'm enjoying with my son. Being in Japan is safe. I can't forget about he's running, or he's alone, or I leave my stuff. This is very nice about Japan.
Must be pretty cool also for your son to have a dad that works on Mario and Pokemon, and he kind of can see you work and can kind of the characters that he likes. You are the one who kind of brings them to life in a way.
Yeah, it was one of my biggest satisfaction. It was animate Mario, because also my son. Because when I get that project, when I say, well, we'll animate next, now we will have this Mario thing. Oh, see, Mario, really? Oh my God, and for the Olympics, the Tokyo, that it was pandemic, nobody came here, but anyway, it was good. So one of the first things I said to my son, he was small, he was 4 years old, I said, I will animate Mario. And he's small, no? He doesn't really, but he's, Mario, nice. So yeah, it was really cool. It was, I think after animate Mario, I could feel like, yeah, it's okay. Whatever anime after, it's okay. So I don't mind.
If I ask you next, is there anyone that you'd love to animate, any character? Do you have one?
Well, I don't have a specific character, but what I really enjoy always to animate is fighting with monster robots. So when I see Godzilla fighting with King Kong or Pacific Rim, big robots, this is something that I like to animate always. So
Gundam,
yeah. This is something that I would like, but it's not exactly because the project. I don't say like I want to animate something specific. This character. It's just this action big monster. This is something that I like to animate. Even when I animate, I'm making the sound something like a because I enjoy it really. So I animate. When I animate this, I feel so happy. So this is something that I would like to keep animating because I animate that still. But that's it. But animate Mario was really nice for my son, and he's so happy. And with Pokemon, even when in that time when I was animate Pokemon, I couldn't show to the people, but to him yes, because he was here. So I said, come on, and I said, look at what Pokemon I animate, and he was what is the next? And I showed him what Pokemon I was animating. So maybe he's gonna be a future animator. Who knows? No, I don't know animator, but he plays video games now. He played Mario, and I play with him. So yeah. That was really nice, and I'm happy to be able to say to my son that. So my life now is more like that, more sharing, enjoying Japan in the family way. So,
do you have any upcoming projects that you can share about? Something of your work that is going to be released soon that we can all expect?
Yeah, soon is the Hot Wheels. There is just released I think few days ago in the Netflix.
Hot Wheels, the cars.
The cars is an animate series. So just cars.
Cool. Also perfect for your son, right? Seems
I will show him. I don't know he will like the cars, this kind of thing, because he likes more like fighting, like a big. He likes the Godzilla movie.
Like father, like son.
Maybe, but yeah, I think he will see at least some episodes in the Hot Wheels. So yeah.
We covered quite a lot of topics, a little bit from you moving to Japan, adapting here, working at studios, working with clients. Do you feel like there's something that we didn't talk about that you would like to share? Whether it's about your work in animation in Japan, maybe advice you'd like to give to someone who's interested in this, or maybe also just about your life in general, something you feel people should know about.
Well, about like some advice about maybe young people who wants to animate. In general, animation, not maybe in Japan, but also can be anywhere. Yeah, I feel like being young is really nice because you have this mindset of mind that you are no fear. You want to eat the world. You want to try. You don't care. Like a revolutionary mind, no. So that is very nice, no? Very nice that when you get older, you manage more differently this kind of ideas. So being young, you have that because I remember also when 20 years ago I was having that age. But what is not happening sometimes, even is can sound something simple, but finding your passion, what you want to do, is not simple. Maybe it sounds like it's easy. No, what I like to do this, so I will do it. And sometimes you get influenced by your parents, by the society, but what is give you more money or give you something more. It's more like fashion. No, I don't know. Whatever thing influencing you, finding your passion. So finding your passion is very important when you are young, but you're truly passionate, because if you find your passion, what you want to do, after that, everything about be patient to learn to master something that you decide to do, or will be easier, because if you are doing something that could be I'm doing this is not my passion, but this would make me more money, or this is cooler things that do another stuff. Eventually, it will be harder to keep going, because it's important that you are doing something that you like, because eventually it will be harder. You need to be patient to master that. It will take years, and will take a lot of frustration, a lot of hard time. So finding your passion and your truly passion is something very important, and be patient and don't compare to others, because sometimes our ways we move to the life is different to each person. No, depends on the country that you are, your age, your background, about who is your parent, what is your economical state, will change your way you are going. So don't compare this. Somebody is younger but is better doing something. It's okay.
To find something you want to do and commit.
And commit, be patient, and don't try to compare with others. So, and eventually you will get, because someone says, if I do what I passion but I don't have money, so what? No, eventually, if you do what you like, the money will come. Enough money to live. No money to be a millionaire, but enough money to live. And eventually also will come this, maybe, I don't know, Final Fantasy, I don't know, maybe another, better, or same, or even not that famous, but will be something that you will be proud. And because you are doing something that you already love, that thing that will come, that you will feel proud, it will be enough. Because when you are doing something that you hate, yes, of course you need a lot of money to compensate that void that you have, because I need a lot of money because I hate what I do. But when you are doing something that you love, that small thing that you can do, that is already in the screen, the TV, is so satisfying, and you will be easily more.
I think this is some good words of wisdom from David.
Yeah, it's good. But what is at least my experience?
I feel like that applies very much to someone thinking about moving to Japan or working in animation, and kind of having the right reasons for doing so. Because moving to Japan, like you said, it can be difficult. There's a lot of work. You can feel lonely. You can feel a struggle to adapt to the culture. But if you know why you're here and why you want to be here, then exactly, you're able to kind of be patient enough to kind of make your own life the way you want in Japan, because that's possible.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly as you said. Keyword is why. Why you are doing something is the key word for many things. Why you are doing animation. And if you're doing because it's so cool, no? My friends are doing, maybe not the right, or because it's giving me a lot of money, you can say how I can make money. No. Why? Is because I like this. This is what I feel very privileged, because I'm doing what I like to do since I was a child. I was thinking when I was 7, 8 years old to do this, and I'm doing. So that it helps a lot, and it's very satisfying. Even that you don't make this huge millionaire movie or money, or also if you don't make a big branch movie, but it's okay. Eventually you will get something that you will feel satisfied.
Thank you for sharing that. I hope that some of our listeners find this useful. I think it's very, very nice to hear once in a while from someone who's kind of lived through that. And thanks to your story today, also, we know a little bit more about what to expect when getting into animation. Be prepared for maybe tough times, maybe difficult deadlines and complex projects with high expectations.
Yes.
But everyone who has the right mindset can do it if they really want to. Because in the end, you just need to deliver the product
Yes,
that the client
exactly, and don't feel like some small things or like you said, I don't speak Japanese and so it's impossible. Yeah, of course, I recommend you can learn a little bit, but if you are doing what you like and you love, that is you have already many of the things.
You have all the ingredients for a good recipe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for
coming all the way from Tokyo and sharing your story. And we'll make sure to link to your work in the description so people can see the animation you've worked on, and maybe they can go watch Final Fantasy, skip Dragon Ball, and play some Mario if they want to have a...
Yes, play some Mario, and yes, you can see all what I previously worked in. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. This was Unpacking Japan. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.